Hello students. In the last lesson we covered all about the resources and its types, consequences of resource depletion, poverty and human intervention. Now today let's start with the next topic, that is waste generation and its disposal, and how waste is directly linked to human development both technologically and socially. We are all utilizing resources in our day to day life and keeps on generating wastes. Now what is waste? Waste is any material you do not require and you throw away. Almost all human activities generate wastes. It is generated due to urbanization, increasing demand for goods, industrialization, etc. We can say that industrialization, urbanization, and waste accumulation are interconnected. Now, according to Basel Convention, substances or objects which are disposed of or are intended to be disposed of or are required to be disposed of by the provisions of international law. Now let's take up different types of wastes according to the various classification. So first we have according to the states of matter. We all know that matter exists in three states: solid, liquid and gas. So we have three types of wastes. Number one, solid waste includes domestic garbage and other waste in solid state of matter. For example, food leftover, then articles, then cans, decaying fruits and vegetables. Then it can also originate from the industries, hospitals, offices, malls, etc. Then we have liquid wastes. It includes sewage from toilets of houses, hospitals, offices, then effluents from industries, oil spills. So these are liquid in nature and drained into water bodies. Next we have gaseous wastes. These are mainly the gaseous pollutants. So these are mainly released from the automobile exhausts, factories, their chimney of factories, brick kilns, then thermal power plants, etc. So the gases can be carbon dioxide, carbon monoxides, oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, hydrocarbons, etc. So they cause air pollution. Then on the basis of degradability we have the wastes: biodegradable waste and non biodegradable waste. Waste that can be degraded or broken down through microbial activities of fungi and bacteria are called as biodegradable wastes. So, household and agricultural wastes which are of organic origin are included under it. Now, these can be composted, means they can be converted into composts and further into biomanures. Now, next we have non-biodegradable wastes. Wastes which cannot be degraded or broken down through microbial activities are called as non-biodegradable wastes. So non-biodegradable wastes, they persist in the environment for a long time, such as synthetic pesticides, petroleum products, plastics, and after long time they get biomagnified or they become toxic and may cause health problems. So biomagnification is increase in the concentration of toxic substances along the food chain. Now, depending upon the sources of origin, wastes can be classified into following. So first we have domestic waste. So, domestic waste is also referred as municipal solid wastes, and it is the result of day to day activities carried out at our houses. So, they include biodegradable wastes like food, kitchen waste, paper, even sewage, wastewater. Then recyclable wastes like paper, glass, bottles, cans, metals, plastics, etc. Then, then we have industrial wastes. Waste generated from various type of small and large scale industries are called as industrial wastes. So they include chemicals like lead, mercury, arsenic, metals, fly ash, even sandpapers. So fly ash, you all know, it is a coal combustion product produced by coal fired electric and steam generating plants. So it causes air pollution. Next, agricultural wastes. So, agricultural wastes can be animal waste, processing waste, then modern agricultural practices. Now, animal wastes may enter water supplies and the runoff, and it carries the wastes into the water courses. As a result, these wastes, along with microbial organisms, enter the human body through water. Then we have processing waste. After harvesting, the crops are taken to the processing unit. Huge quantities of husks and cakes are produced as waste. Then these plants left over, such as husks, molasses, straw, etc., are dumped off after harvesting. Then modern agricultural practices such as use of excessive pesticides and fertilizers leave harmful residue on the soil. So, thus agricultural pollution mainly impacts water systems and groundwater. For example, high levels of nitrogen and phosphorus from fertilizers, manure, and animal wastes in surface water give rise to eutrophication, which will deplete dissolved oxygen, and as a result it kills fish and aquatic life. So excessive nutrients from these pesticides and fertilizers may enter the water bodies in the form of runoff and increases the nutrient level and results in excessive growth of algae in the water bodies. Now this algal bloom will further deplete the dissolved oxygen from the water. Next, we have construction waste. Waste generated at construction sites due to demolition and construction activities is called as construction waste. So, the digging of earth for foundation of high rise buildings generate large amount of soil and rocks which are piled up and are known as overdumps. Now, these further spoil the ecology of the site where they are dumped, and it takes a long time to regenerate any types of vegetation. Next, we have hazardous or toxic wastes. Certain wastes are classified into hazardous or toxic wastes as they pose a serious threat to human health and environment. Even household generate hazardous waste from items such as batteries, used computer equipments, and leftover paints or pesticides. These may be pollutants like mercury, lead, halogenated fluorocarbons, dioxins, asbestos, PCBs, and vinyl chloride, etc. So, such wastes are also released from the industries, hospitals, agriculture, etc. Now, these wastes need proper disposal. As I told you, they may enter the food chain and causes biomagnifications. Now, what is biomag? They are carcinogenic. Before I tell you biomagnification, let me explain you. They can be carcinogenic. They may cause cancer, and then biomagnification means they may enter the food chain, and at every trophic level, the concentration of these chemicals increases. Then biomedical wastes that are generated from the activities performed in hospitals and diagnostic centers, such as syringes, needles, plastic bottles, bandages, cotton, gloves, pathological wastes like blood, tissue, body parts, body fluids, etc. Now, why these are detrimental? These wastes need proper disposal because they may carry disease causing pathogens and have the potential of spreading diseases. Then we have radioactive wastes. They are the most hazardous wastes and need to be handled carefully. They remain dangerous for thousands of years, and they may be generated from X-ray machines in hospitals and airports, nuclear power plants, you all know that. Testing of nuclear weapons and atomic research centers are source of radioactive wastes. For example, uranium, plutonium. So they may cause genetic and somatic variations in humans. The last topic for today's video, uh, impacts of waste accumulation. Accumulated solid wastes when left uncared start decomposing. A number of disease producing bacteria such as bacteria, virus and fungi grow on them. So these become the cause of various diseases to humans. They may emit foul smell due to rotting. They may attract flies, insects, and rodents, which become carrier of diseases. Open dump also ruin the natural beauty and aesthetics of the land. The toxic chemicals produced cause soil and water pollution. So they may enter the food chain and affect it. Wastewater from the sewage deplete the water from its oxygen content, causing eutrophication. So eutrophication, that is dissolved oxygen of water, reduces. Then not only this, but toxic wastes accumulation in soil and water cause biomagnification, which means increase in the concentration of toxic substances along the food chain. Then even toxic particulate matter emitted from the industries may cause diseases of the respiratory systems like asbestosis, silicosis, and so. Now with this, we end up with the first half of the chapter, in which we covered waste, types of waste according to the various classifications, and last we covered impact of waste accumulation. Now in the next lecture we will cover waste disposal methods, issues of waste disposal, and Basel Convention. So thank you, students.